Okay. Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Real Vision. I am Dave, your host. So the past 3 weeks been talking about getting life on track and kind of what level we're in regards to budgeting and really the need to budget. This fourth and last one is going to be the hardest to talk about, and it's because it's where we're discussing people who don't make ends meet on a monthly basis. We might be getting assistance and what have you, and I don't want to come at it in a judgy perspective. I want to come at it humbly and with grace. But I also want to point out that sometimes when we're in these scenarios, it's self-inflicted. So we need to know that, understand that, and move toward an acceptance of that. And that will lead us to finding a solution. So from the last video, I did notice that I was hitting the table a lot whenever I was doing this, so I apologize for that, and I promise to try not to do that again. I want to start out with a story. I was talking to a friend this week, and he asked the question because he watched one of my videos, and he said, okay, man, how do you help the single mom with 2 kids who can't make ends meet? And it kind of hit me because, to be completely honest, I don't have an answer to that. And I say that during this video because a lot of the circumstances lead to what I'm talking about. And I'm not necessarily referring to those people in this video. But it kind of struck me because that is a very bad scenario to be in. And there are maybe different videos in the future that I could do to help explain how to maybe get out of that scenario. I don't think I have anything right now to really capture the need there. I will say that I think the solution is what we should do to not get into the scenario of being a single mother, but that's a whole different video that we can go in later. So we're going to dive right in, and the things that I'm going to be talking about they're simple to do. They really are, but they're not going to be easy. I've said it before. It's simple but not easy, and I heard that from my pastor. And it's very, very, very much struck me, so I'm going to use it all the time. Sorry, Brett. But I say simple, not easy, because these are easy tasks. So number one, the first thing I'm going to tell you to do if you cannot make ends meet on a monthly basis is 100% get rid of all of entertainment expenses, period. All of them. Now, you're going to say, well, my kid stays preoccupied while watching Netflix, while I'm cooking, or while I'm doing X, Y, Z. If that is the case, don't lie to yourself. But if that is the case, then pick one item, one entertainment item. Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max. Hopefully that's not what your kids are watching, but maybe they have some children's shows. I don't even know. But pick one item and stick to that item. But everything else needs to go, and that's temporary. It doesn't mean it's a long-term effect. It doesn't mean you're staying in that realm. It just means temporarily to get yourself back on track. Maybe you have $40,000 credit card debt that you need to pay off and you still can't make ends meet. That's a heck of a payment that you're paying monthly that you could be saving, or that could make you be positive instead of negative on a monthly basis. So that is the first step, and I think it's an easy step or a simple step, but it's not easy. I understand that. I have entertainment items at my house. But we're in a dire situation and we need to start going back to the essentials to get out of this hole. So say that you did get rid of all those subscriptions and you do not have entertainment monthly coming out of your budget. That's fantastic, and you still can't make ends meet. I would say you need to start looking at your lifestyle. Are you buying clothes all the time? Shoes? Guys, are we buying toys? Four-wheelers or stuff we don't need? Or do we have very expensive hobbies? Hunting's one of them. That I know personally. I don't hunt, but my family does. Woodworking is one of mine. It's a pretty expensive hobby. Do we have hobbies that we might need to curtail until we get to a point where we're in a healthy budgeting atmosphere? Are we eating out all the time? Right now, it is not cheap to eat out. A family of 5, just based on talking to a friend, is like $45 to $50 to go to McDonald's. That's not cheap. And I would argue that if we start shopping at budget-friendly stores that have groceries that are not necessarily the name brands, but they're good for you and they're healthy, read the labels, then I think we can start making food a lot cheaper than trying to buy food at fast food restaurants, which is definitely not going to be healthy for you, or not the most healthy option. There are a couple of healthy options. So now we got rid of all of our entertainment items. We looked at our lifestyle, started cutting out the fat, if you will. Now, what are we going to do with all this time, right? So now we're going to have a lot of time because we're not using all of our time on video games or on TV or iPad and wasting time on phones or games on our phones and what have you. So I would say what you need to do is focus that time and energy on your kids or second jobs that could help increase that influx of money to get you more positive. Now, there's multiple ways. As I mentioned, you can find a second job, a part-time job. There's surveys online that you can actually do for cash. There's a lot of other things online that you can do for cash. That's a quick Google search of how can I make money online. There's a lot of money to be made online. There's Uber. You can always go to an Uber, or you can go to Lyft. There is selling items you don't use anymore. Say there's items that you kind of got you into the situation you're in. Say you have 1,000 pairs of shoes. That's an exaggeration, I hope. But say you have 1,000 pairs of shoes, sell them. Get rid of them. Use what put you in the hole to get you out of the hole, right? I know some lenders will allow you to refinance your home at a higher value as long as you have equity in order to pay off credit card debt. So for instance, if you have $30,000 credit card debt and you have $100,000 equity in your home, what you can do is refinance your home at a $30,000 increase, but you use that $30,000 to pay off your credit card debt. So now you're getting rid of a 25% item and putting it into a category where it's now a mortgage. And you can increase that mortgage to a 15 or to a 20 or to a 30-year long term if you would like. But again, you can kind of see the interest levels there start to decrease and diminish versus paying 25% on the credit card. That's not something we want to do because that payment is going to be very high versus a little bit added to our mortgage. So once we've gotten rid of the entertainment items, once we've looked at the non-necessities in our life that are holding us back, the things that we buy that we do not need, the burdens that we carry, maybe they're addictions that we deal with. I know those are hard. It's the same thing with alcoholism, same thing with tobacco. There could be shopping addictions. I get that. The key is to find something that helps you to get past those addictions, whether that's faith, whether that's a good friend, whether it's someone to talk to, whether it's watching videos of a guy in a room talking about budgeting. Try to find something to help you with that addiction. So once we've understood the entertainment items and the activities and the things we purchase and kind of gotten rid of those items, and then we've talked to vendors and maybe we've increased our mortgage and refinanced that in order to pay off a credit card bill, that's upwards of $30,000, say $40,000. If that's the case, obviously it can be lower. We've gotten rid of a giant payment and we've gotten rid of all these other monthly payments. Now we can start looking at a plan and start to attack this budget in an intelligent manner. So to do that, we need to start tracking things. We need to start budgeting on a spreadsheet. Dave Ramsey has a here's $300 envelope kind of thing. I think that's pretty valuable. But I'd say we need to track everything we spend in this state, right? If we're really serious about getting out of the hole and getting our budgets correct, we need to start looking at everything we purchase and understanding, okay, we have now $400 we're going out a month of things we know. And then we have $800 coming in a month. Sweet, that's awesome. Now we're going to start seeing that $400 extra going into savings, going into paying other debts, going into paying other loans, are potentially paying down our mortgage. But we're seeing a positive on the inflow, which gives us a positive on our budget. But again, it's easy, but it's not simple, because that's a lot of things to give up. But you have to be serious about it, because if you're not serious about it, you're not going to do it. And if you don't do it, I promise you, it will come back to bite you. If you're 25 and you're listening to this, and you sit here and say you have no idea what you're talking about, that's fine. You can do that. But I've seen it. I've seen people who don't prepare for the future. I see people who have debt going into their later years, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. That's not a good place to be at, because it holds us back from what we really want to do in our lives. And that's be with family. That's traveling. That's doing things that might require us to spend $50. And if we don't have it, what are you going to do? I promise you, you want to get out of the hole as soon as you can. That doesn't mean we stay there. It doesn't mean we budget like this forever. But I guarantee you, you start now, it'll help your mentality and it'll help your work life. Because I guarantee you're going to work every single day worrying about how you're going to make ends meet at the end of the month. And that does not push off a positive vibe, which means you probably will not be utilized when it comes to upcoming promotions or upcoming raises, because that screams negativity whenever we go into a place where we're anxious, where we're hurting, where we're upset, and we're always thinking about something else that's deterring us away from what we should be doing. So that's the end of this series. You can go back and see the last 3 videos. It kind of talks about the other levels. The next thing I'll be talking about in the next 2 videos, I believe, are going to be mortgage and loan related. I think the first one's going to be more in tune with, hey, here we have all of this mortgage and we have these loans. Which ones do we pay off first? And then the one after that, the follow-up, is going to be, all right, how can we manipulate our mortgage to give us the biggest bang for our buck? But they are kind of connected, so I don't know exactly how I'm going to do those yet. I will tell you it is going to be one of my favorite ones to do, because mortgage manipulation, if you can do it, could save you tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on where you're at in your scenario, and what size house and how much it costs. So I want to thank you all for listening. If you do have any questions or anything and you know me personally, just reach out, shoot me a text. If you have any questions here, you can comment below. Hit like, comment, subscribe, and again, I'll answer anything that you ask me. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. Thanks.